mic. Take this shit out. Test mic. A 1 2, a 1 2 to do a 1 2, a 1 2. That shit working. Put on this bullshit. This far back. Alright. Testing. Alright. This looks good. That's working. This shit must be working. Alright, let's get it together here. Start getting comfortable in this motherfucker. First things first, do this. Yeah. Bye to you. Hello to you. All right. So as you can see, on February 15th, we got another one in New Orleans. You monkeys want to show up to get your bananas and your peanuts. New Orleans Marriott, 555 Canal Street, New Orleans, LA, 70130, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., 35 at the door, 35 for the webinar. Contact VCWESI, the dumb fucking name, VISEWESI @gmail.com or culturallyspeaking.com. So this is going to be a classic one. The science of the soulmate. Show y'all niggas how to get down. This question comes up a lot. Soulmates, twin flames, kindred spirits, and all the rest of that crap y'all put names on. We're going to try to explain that conceptually and give you some tricks and tips on how to have that realization of a soulmate and whatever package that shows up for you. How to narrow it down and do some special Negro magic to make some of this things be a realization for you. So we're going to be dropping this together on February 15th. New Orleans, you niggas want to be there. Get some of that goddamn Bourbon Street in your life. Nah, I mean, we just dropped in Nashville a spectacular live lecture on the prosperity formula. Some certain mentalities one must obtain to really thrive spiritually and physically here. It's all about a certain kind of disposition in your mind, and you niggas are suffering in a whole different direction from what it is to really think in the context of prosperity. Because it all happens from your thinking. It all happens from your knowing. It all happens from your spirit. Therefore, it all happens from your mind. So your mind is in a poor condition. You're still busy trying to come up with a fight plan against the white man when the white man represents your own degraded psyche. And you really can't fight yourself. You can only evolve yourself. So you're really trying to fight a lower aspect of yourself. White people is just the worst case scenario of niggas, but niggas got that shit all in them, clearly. Because niggas is the worst enemies of niggas. White people is just a side effect. And so trying to fight them and come up with a plan is really coming up with an own plan of fighting your own self. In a low about way, it's all humanity. You can't fight humanity. You have to overcome humanity. So therefore, you have to get beyond this white man, beyond even your own niggery ways, your own niggery ideas of your own niggery self. You know what I'm saying? We need to do this, and we as the people and our people need to do that. You need to get over that fucking egomaniac shit. Shit ain't working. It ain't been working, and it ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying? There's a mentality that you need to adapt, and that mentality is personal. It's not a mentality that I have or I co-sign that you're supposed to be doing. You have to. I give you the tools to find it within yourself for your own definition, because you came here by yourself to find your own configuration of shit. There's just certain key facts of a mentality that you need for any form of success. You're a basketball player, all the basketball players would agree. There's many different mentalities to dribble and lay up a basketball, but there's a certain base hard work mentality, a dedication mentality, a love mentality for the game. You know what I'm saying? A obsessive mentality. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the physical workout that you have to do, and just a certain way of being. You know what I mean? That puts you in the game, not winning the game necessarily, but set up best to win the game. You know what I'm saying? So that all of those little baby things for, let's say, basketball, or you had to do it for football, or to get on a skateboard, whatever it took to be successful at that, it takes that to be successful in this shit as well. Mm-hmm. So if someone is coming to you telling you they have a specific formula, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, that formula will only get you but so far. You get what I'm saying? Because you're using their formula after all. You get what I'm saying? So there may be some universal principles in something one guy's saying or doing that may go a long, long way. But ultimately, if you can't make those principles yours, no matter what, then you're ultimately going to hit a brick wall, because you're very different from this person or that person. So, you know, that's some of the stuff we're going to just chop it up about today. You know, but it really fits into a big picture of this is shit that's been said to you already. And especially me, I have been saying it, others have too, saying this type of thing all the time. And if a person works in one area, that's not really a big deal or a big failure. Just fuck with that person for that area. Maybe that's what that person came to do and came to teach. But don't get ahead of yourself with this mentality because you found something that may be special to you, that is the only way. So just because you found the glory of vegetables doesn't mean that's how that other person is deemed to find light. There's many ways to find light, and even if there's someone who's found light doing nothing about what I've been talking about or just got finished saying it, so what if they're finding light? I'm not here to judge that. Knock yourself out. If it's working for you, then it's working. A certain shit is obvious. You're sitting there complaining about what every other black person complains about, that you can't even for yourself, before you can give advice to others, change your condition, then you're not worthy of saying it in front of folks. You're not worthy of trying to be that person for folks. You get what I'm saying? Unless you are someone who can show folks how to personally get out of their own condition. Because before you can even get to a whole bunch of black people that you're willing to save, if you can't save yourself or show individuals how to save themselves, then you're not even starting yet. Then you haven't even tested your theories yet. Because how this shit works is everyone's reading books, everyone's studying Google. So for me to sit on YouTube, I'm gonna make this big. Let me just say this again, then we're gonna make this bigger. So me and Khadijah will be in New Orleans. We'll come back with this flyer. 555 Canal Street, New Orleans, LA, 70130. 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, February 15th, 2020, The Science of the Soulmate in New Orleans. 35 as always at the door, just 35 for the webinar. For those who cannot make it, contact VCWESI, VISEWESI at gmail.com. February 15th, New Orleans. Bring your ass. It's going to be show shot. Khadijah's going to kill it. We're going to do the whole lecture together. And it's going to be fire. We got a lot of information by way of just being together for 10 years as known soulmates. We knew exactly who we was immediately. So we were able to really study this shit moment to moment. And now we have enough to relay it. So we there. All right. So as I was saying, if you're not in a position based upon being able to prove that you have methods, tips, tricks, what you teach can actually have Black people raise themselves up to a whole new state of consciousness, then exactly what is it you're doing? You get what I'm saying? Now I get the idea. You may know a few karate moves, a few breathing techniques, and it may help some niggas, make it through, get rid of some things, and all of that is great and gravy. But in the end, if you down here breathing and down here holding crystals and down here doing all of this, you have a problem. I'm down here. I have a problem, and I recognize that problem. I recognize all the beef that you have as a Black person couldn't happen if you're a scientist. You're saying, well, we need to get to the one problem that sets up all of these fucking problems. You get what I'm saying? So in your study, to give you a shortcut, you eventually find out, well, goddamn, it's just being a human being that sets up everything else. But then you find out that human beings just die and come back here. The regular human thinks death is a finality. You're either going to go to heaven or hell or the sweet or the fifth dimension, whatever these niggas think. But ultimately, the real master understands that you have a problem of reincarnation, recycling. And because you're under the illusion of time, within that recycling, you're going to think that everything is happening now. It's new. When you got to planet Earth, that when you just got here, all of this shit that's in the world somehow synchronized with you and your ego.
Yes.
Well, I mean, talking to B.O.B., who's 20 years younger than me, like when we discuss rap music, which he's submerged in, it's been his whole life. But I'm from an era where I could see a before and an after. So most of the stuff that are institutionalized in rap in terms of samples and sounds, and I said, oh no, that came from there, he did it here, and that's how that came about. He's the one who made that famous. That DJ did it there and made that famous. When I'm able to give him the origin, it's a whole different form of enlightenment. Because what I'm actually doing is taking him outside of the circle of time. And when you take that mentality outside the circle of time, then that was the idea of talking to OGs and respecting elders. You understand what I'm saying? Because the elders had the ability to take you out the circle of time. Your small, limited bubble of what it is you feel you know based upon your own fucking ridiculous ego can actually be expanded by someone who can tell you origin stories. That's why they spend all that time in Marvel when they're about to tell this great mythology of origin stories, because origin stories put shit in context.
Hence why it's important that you want that information from your grandparents. You want to talk to them and how they learn certain things.
Well, nowadays, them niggas are stupid. Well, once you have someone who has some sense that's older, that's the lead, especially someone who's conscious who's older, because they can put shit in a perspective that you should be interested in as another conscious person. Just to throw that away, you're either very, very stupid or you're doing something purposefully to sabotage, because there's no reason you wouldn't want valuable information from someone who comes from a different era who sees an expanded version of your world. So B.O.B., who is smart, understood I represented an expanded version of his world based upon me being older and conscious like him. So I can put it in a language which he's very familiar with as another conscious person. Put it in a meaningful context, which therefore his world and his consciousness just expands a bit more. You know what I'm saying? And anyone who doesn't want or doesn't understand that, you know what I mean, is of great folly to himself and others, especially if you got some fools following him around or her around. You understand what I'm saying? It's great folly. And that's what you have with most preachers and pastors, this whole blind leading the blind. So the true enlightened man understands that this is about, in all things, no matter what context, whether you see earth as a great thing for you being here or the worst thing in existence, which some of the ancients have called it, this reality, the worst thing in existence. Whether you see it either way, what you do know is the one thing you do have control in what empowers you is knowledge and the transformation of that knowledge into wisdom and understanding. So when you talk to an elder, and that's truly a wise elder, not just an old person. But some of these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, don't know the difference between grape soda and grape drink. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you talk to that person, it gives you the ability to take knowledge, turn it into wisdom and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Which is the real crucial part of knowledge. Just having knowledge doesn't do anything. Because right now you've seen a bunch of knowledgeable people repeating shit from Google. Right. A bunch of knowledgeable people repeating shit from not really books anymore, but at one point they were quoting books. Now it's just repeating other lecturers on YouTube that niggas won't watch. Right. And because you have the stomach to watch it and the ability to repeat it, they do and pretend to masquerade as knowledge and wisdom, but it's just pretty much at the level of information. So when that's what Bobby Hemmett was able to do to me. Or it wasn't like I read a book and said, I don't get it. Bobby, what does this book mean? Explain it. That's never the case. Read the book, understood it to my ability. Mm-hmm. But when you have someone who's older, who's been through some shit with expansive thing, they can add wisdom and understanding to help formulate your own wisdom and understanding the scenario. You get what I'm saying? Well, when I went through it, this is what happened to me. Same way you talk to your older cousin about getting pussy before you got pussy. What's going to be? What do you mean smell? So you got to do this and take off the bra first. And you're sitting there like all this information, but you don't have an understanding until you suck in your own titties. You don't have a wisdom of it until after somebody busts you upside your head. You know what I'm saying? Smack one of these holes upside their head. You ain't gonna have, you know what I'm saying? It expands your thought. So these elders who are dropping wisdom, you get what I'm saying? And like I said, I know that's a thinly used word. Or even if they're not older than you, but been through some shit of experience, right? It can't be thrown away or shouldn't be thrown away so easy. Like I said, if it is, you just either hustling backwards out of ignorance and your ego, or you paid to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no other logical reason just to shit on wisdom and understanding. Information is designed to be challenged all day. That's the law of polarity. One side of a coin is just exactly that, just one side. There's always two sides to a coin. You get what I'm saying? That's the law of polarity. So therefore, the scientist understands anything can be argued.
Right.
So if anything could be argued, you could spend an endless amount of time just going back and forth. That's not true knowledge. That's just information debating, information bickering. You know what I'm saying? Weak men do that, as far as I'm concerned. Or I'll do you one better. Very strong men do that. But in the end, you're fucking men. This here work is about transformation back into the Godhead.
To get outside your own opinion.
Yeah, to get outside of opinions, which you know are going to exist. Everyone is going to have their opinion as long as they have this thing, but your opinions are worthless. Your progress is the game. See, so what is the game? Being able to say the most knowledge that is correct only by Google standards? Well, I said that more correct than you. Is that what it is? Because that's what you're fighting for. You get what I'm saying? With an argument.
To be right.
To be right. That's what you're fighting for, to be right. So you're the rightest nigga on the slave plantation? Nigga, this is folly. This is foolishness. Even when I was a young kid, I wasn't this fucking naive and this into myself. This narcissistic about shit that's happening to me. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about if I say the wrong thing, he's gonna care about me tomorrow. I'm not that foolish enough. It's the message that had me around for over 10 years. The message. And the message has to ring true with something in someone's heart. And it has to be basic enough that they can mold it into their own story,
right.
Mold it into their own tool, own weapon. See, because if I tell them as a preacher what to do and what I expect and what they should be doing, you know what I'm saying? You'll catch some people because there's a great amount of people who want to be told what to do. There's a great amount of our people who want to be led. So if you step up and pretend to lead them, you'll have more followers. I have an incredible amount of followers and people who follow my work, and not even near as much as I would if I was giving them someone to follow.
Oh, easily. You can piecemeal that package together so nice and sweet.
Oh, if I wanted to be that guy, I'd eat this shit. You need to understand that. What I'm sticking to is honor and integrity in my teaching. So much so where I'm telling you straight out and never have lied to you. This shit is on you. It's about you. I cannot save you. You must do it yourself. It's only people don't want to hear that shit because they really know in their heart they don't know what the fuck to do next.
You know, I thought it was not that I felt that you was wrong, but I thought it was bullshit when you used to say there was nothing that's in me that is not in you and greater. I just couldn't understand what that meant.
Because people don't feel like, see, I'm not confused. I know that's happening. And I know how you felt. And I know how many felt when I tell them. Because I can look in people's eyes and see they ain't got shit in them that they believe. What's in them is sleeping and gone. So when they sitting around front and saying Hotep and doing all of this shit, I'm looking through that old bullshit. You don't know shit. And I know you don't. Because I know what it is to know. I know what it is to have the realization. And I see when it happens to folks. And I see how little it happens to folks. True realization. You get what I'm saying? Fuck you think Bobby Hemmett was saying my name for? Because he thought I was a good guy?
Right.
If he thought I was a good guy and we were personal friends, we'd be talking now. I haven't talked to him for what now? We talk coming up on 5-something years. Because when he stopped for real. It wasn't about friendship. But what he seen was my work ethic. What he seen was the integrity and me understanding what this shit was about. And what this shit was about, not leading folks and getting glory. Because if it's about that, every state I go in, people come from other states to see me at whatever state. And it will be packed all the time. If I let that kind of shit go to my head, forget about it.
You be having conventions.
Oh, nigga. Oh, they all panicked. You did this and you saved that. But I understand. They saved themselves. You saved yourselves. And the day you realize the shit that I am telling you, this shit is in you. Your happiness is in you. Your soulmate or your ability to attract your other half is in you. Your prosperity is in you. All this information is in you. I'm here to remind you. You go to lectures or should be going to lectures to get reminded. Some niggas there just for the emotion, the up jump,
inspiration,
the giggles. That's never going to change. There's always and only been a select few that really could dig into this shit. And that's really what the calling is. So when I'm doing tapes, it's not to get a bigger audience. That's the least thing on my mind. Like, my audience is already big and long term. You know what I'm saying? And let's say it was get about a bigger audience. After 10 years, it ain't getting no bigger than what I got already.
Right.
Known around the world. What else do you need? You know what I'm saying? What else do you need? I'm known around. I don't need more. What I would love is for this message to ring true, because more of what I am is actually the transformation of this goddamn debaucherous world. This world can't exist outside of the ignorance that it is. So me doing my part is adding less to the ignorance in the world. Niggas arguing with each other, arguing about white people. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna do nothing. You have to find power within yourself.
That's the key.
It's power within yourself. So like you said, when I'm telling you, yo, this shit is in you, it's not like you think I'm outwardly lying. You just can't see how it applies.
Exactly.
Just can't see how it applies to you. And then you have you start using logic and reasoning to try to figure out what does that even fucking mean. Because when it was said to me, you could do it better than that. Like, nigga, what to tell me? Like, you just saying some old shit. See, when it said it to me, it sounded like some old nice shit to say. Make me feel good about myself. Know what I'm saying? But in the end, when you see, like, no one's the facilitator of nothing, that, like, they're only doing what you could possibly do with your imagination and how you convince yourself. Think of all the times in your life where you didn't know you was going to get on that skateboard and you did it. And the only thing you look back and say, what made you do it? I just said, fuck it. I just said, fuck it. Right. Like, what made you jump in the water and start to swim? I just said, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing you can say, well, yeah, it was some shit Patrick was saying. And I got in the water. But in the end, you got in the water and you had to move your arms.
So how do you relay that to people? What that fuck it comes from?
You don't have to. See, that's just the thing.
Okay.
That's just the thing. I want you to hear what I'm saying. It's not up to me to relay it to people in a way where they're supposed to fucking get it. I said it. And if you are worthy, if you are the true initiated, you'll get it. That means your spirit has led you to do the right thing, which means you were deemed for this work. Not because I said you were more worthy than the next. Not because Bobby Hemming said I was more worthy than the next. Because I stepped up and said, fuck it, and made useful the facilities that were already there. So Bobby Hemming was already talking this shit 10 years before Panic showed up. But I walked through the door saying, fuck it, let's go. And he recognized, oh, somebody's aggressive. somebody already wants to get in the water and swim. So now let me be a support system now that he done jumped in. But it's not up to me to say, how do I get more? I don't give a fuck about these niggas. Let me say that clear. I don't give a fuck about saving black people. I don't give a fuck about black people. I give a fuck about what's in black people. I give a fuck about being honest to how to craft that particular sleeping beast into the monster that it is. But it's really you who have to step up and swing the sword. In other words, Morpheus said it. I can show you all the doors. You have to walk through it. So Morpheus is, oh, please walk through the door. So that's what you're really saying. Oh, black people, I got the message. I'm going to save you. I'm going to save the black. Who the fuck are you?
He hasn't even walked through the door.
Yeah, you ain't even did shit. You still sitting on YouTube yelling. Anyone. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas. There ain't no chicks too. And you have to, and out here, and what we need to do, and beloved. You may have tapped into something, and, you know, goody. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? But ultimately, this is a non-stop, full reality shift. So you're not going to get it just with chakras, just with diet. You're not going to get it just saying dark side. You're not going to get it just saying Baphomet. You're not going to get it just saying Allah. You're not going to get it just saying Yahweh. Like the one area, Kabbalah, is not going to get it. You have to understand it is the total shedding of all of this shit that binds you to this. And so then the next question, well, why don't you just kill yourself? Because that's not the game. That's not the idea. That's not transformation. Just dying is not enlightenment. Because you're the same stupid dude with no place to go after you died, but back here. You got to understand you're transforming out of this into something new. So to do the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the work until you die. And then with that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you want to have enough alchemy, enough change in you, enough transformation in you to move on to the next level, to graduate from here. So look at it in terms of graduation. Just dying isn't graduation. Right. Just dying isn't graduation. Dying is just another way of just saying, I'm coming back.
Right, because you can finish the school year and fail.
Right. You fail. Well, if you didn't learn anything, then what are you going to think? What do you think you're going to learn when you die? That you ain't learning now. It's your mind. See, once you understand this at the core, your mind dictates all things. So if your mind is at a certain area now, when you die, it doesn't get wiser. It's still in that area. If it doesn't know what it's supposed to know, because through your human experience, what you are is beat out of you. What you are is humanized out of you. You don't gain it back when you die.
So that when
you gain it back through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So that
all-knowing thing when you die, that's not true.
No.
Okay.
Well, you can talk to the dead and find that out right now. You can talk to the dead and find that out right now. They're wise in their area. I've talked to ancestors. I've talked to all the ancients, to the gods. They know what they know. And because of even of your human thought, you can't, let's say they all knew this shit, but just couldn't tell you because you're human. The same way you know all of this shit, but you can't tell it to your cat because it's a cat. It just doesn't understand it's a cat.
Right.
If you die and you haven't transformed yourself and you still see yourself as that ultimate human, that ultimate black man who's just calling themselves gods, but you still do all the behaviors. See, that's like a cat saying, I'm a human. but still shitting in the litter box.
Right.
Get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm a god, but we need an economic plan down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a god, but we have to save the babies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a god. Look at all these beautiful babies you have on the planet. You're fruitful with your seed.
Right.
So if you're still shitting in the litter box, you understand what I'm saying? Then you're a fucking cat. So if you're still a human and have a human especially an egotistical mentality, like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you getting this is a first class round. This is a round trip ticket. You know what I'm saying? Kill yourself or not. So the idea is you're trying to elevate through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
So it's not all about just contentment.
What's contentment?
Contentment, like when I was reading all these mythological stories about the process of us getting here, the millions and millions of years, it seems like it was like a level of as if we just wasn't satisfied with the reality was in. So we just kept falling. So they're not talking about a person, they're talking about the human ego. Okay. They're trying to describe what the ego is in terms of not contentment. Mm-hmm. And then what we realize now when we're past this, that the human ego will never be content. That's why you have this drama between these gods and these demigods, or these gods and these demons constantly going back and forth. That's the nature of this reality, ego, and polarity. It'll never stop. So again, what the scientists understand, it's not about trying to overcome this. Okay. It's not trying to be the better human and get balance and peace on earth and eradicating white men and these old fucked up niggas, straighten these fucked up niggas out who's blood sucking this and that. It ain't about none of that shit. It's about saying this is created in its perfectionist mess. Okay. And this perfect mess is the trick of the ego is to get you to think you can fix it. The real science or the real understanding is saying, I'm over it, and look away from it. Now, since you're still here having the experience, there's still things you have to deal with. Don't say, fuck you to your grandkids and tell your kids, I'm conscious now, get out. But the emotional ties, when you see shit on TV, I'm loving hip hop. When are these niggas gonna start pulling their pants up in the mall? You know what I'm saying? You start giving up shit like that. Why do I care if some nigga pull his pants up or not? I don't want to look at his ass. I don't want to look at his ass with his pants on. Right. So shit like that, you start not giving a fuck about. Mm-hmm. And you'll find you'll still be saying, shit, the nigga had his ass pants down in the mall. Oh, fuck. And then you realize, then you'll start to see what really mind control is. Where your thoughts are really at, even though you're saying a whole bunch of hot shit. Right. That's when you start to self-evaluate what's the only thing that makes you human is your mentality. Look at the motherfuckers in New Orleans. When that shit happened and they put them in that stadium, they were eating each other, raping each other, stealing each other's rations, smacking kids up. It was Mad Max and Thunderdome in moments. But these are all civilized American constitutional ass niggas and women. But you take that away in moments, they're animals. So what is it that makes you a human? Years of evolution? Or just the fact that you think you have resources? Let someone tell you your family can't have water. What would you do? Exactly. Let someone tell you your grandchild won't have fucking diapers. Whatever. You're going to be fighting. You know what I'm saying? Food, you're going to be fighting. And this is because the only thing that makes you human is what you're told is comfort. What you're told is contentment. You told constantly, this is the greatest country in the world. And everybody in the world going, what the fuck are they talking about?
Canada looks great. You know what I'm saying? France looks great.
I'm all the time.
Yeah, but a bunch of places, this should have been existing thousands of years before this. But it's the greatest one in the world. If you're told that enough, let them take it away from you. You know what I'm saying? Chaos in minutes. All these decent saluting motherfuckers will be eating you in a week. So this is nothing really. It's only what you participate in that makes this humanity. So you got to find ways, if you're a conscious person and you're trying to go beyond it, to start divorcing yourself from a lot of the human ideas you have, not some standard idea of humanity you have. You know, how you feel about black women, how you feel about lesbians, how you feel about the church and this and that. Of course, you're going to say, you're going to have your opinion. See, before my opinion, fuck Jesus. Fuck that, right? Now I'm like, fuck Jesus, but I'm not that emotional. You know what I'm saying? I get it logically, but technically you want to get down to it. The Christios energy is what you become when you're conscious. It's a frequency of 13. It's really just a description in the heart chakra. While 10 years ago, fuck Jesus. It had some emotion on it.
I was telling my boy LeBron in the movie The Matrix, Morpheus, Neo says to Morpheus, so you saying I'm going to be able to dodge bullets? Morpheus says, I'm telling you when you're ready, you won't have to. So what I was explaining to him is that people get so caught up into how they're going to attract wealth and this and that and the third. But if you get into yourself, the bullets just naturally stop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Well, once you're in your own power, you display your own power, you just talk about magnetism. So, and really that's in a roundabout way what Morpheus is saying as well, that you won't have to, meaning it's even still a human notion to think you can shooting and blocking. If you go beyond that human notion, right, and for dramatic purpose, they showed you shooting and the bullets stop. That's for the movie, but the metaphysical understanding, he's talking about the same laws of attraction, and which is really cause and effect. So what he's really saying is you don't have to, meaning you were in control of the person shooting you as well. And we know that from Oprah at this point, because when the laws of attraction came out first, that was the big one. Well, you trying to say the woman who gets raped was asking for it? See, I don't believe in those laws of attraction thing. And it's really their own science. It's cause and effect. And whether she's aware of it or not, whether she wants it consciously or not, something is attracting that. That's how it works. This world is magnetism. So the shit that sounds good when you say it, so you want to say that, I've been magnetizing this broccoli and my unk, and that shit sounds good. But when you say, some nigga hit me over the head with a goddamn stick the other day, well, how did you magnetize that? Oh, no. That was the beast, the demiurge, Satan, the white man, you know what I mean? America, whatever.
You want to hop in them for it.
Yeah, I want to hop in that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to be responsible, because it's still a hope system. You want to be responsible for the good, but not the bad. Though you understand you're living in a world of polarity. One side of the coin, other side of the coin. So if you're not extremely focused on what you're magnetizing, an ass whipping is always around that corner as well. And everything good you get, the potential ass whipping is there because it's only one side of the coin.
So is the idea just to accept it all, however it comes?
Hell no. Hell no ain't the idea to accept it all. The idea is to be conscious of how all things come before you. And that's work. And that's the work people don't know how to do or too lazy to fucking do. It's easy to say somebody else is responsible. Why you ain't get it? Oshun must doesn't want me to have it. The ancestors don't want me to have it. Jesus saying ain't right. God works in mysterious ways. The devil's a liar. The devil's always at work. That ain't nothing but the devil. That's the demiurge.
Accountability.
Right. Of giving accountability to everything else. So really, one of the first things as calling yourself a god or a goddess is to take responsibility for your reality.
That's a fact.
That's why the number 7 is connected with God, because it's the mastery of 7 chakras, which is the 7 seas or the 7 mighty continents or the 7 seals or the 7 frequencies that control all of your emotions here. So so when I say you're divorcing yourself from humanity, what are you doing? Starting to tame your emotional responses to the nigga in the mall with his pants down, to this state motherfucker who's doing this, to Trump and them, to white people doing this, the dumbass niggas, or whatever. So once you start saying, it doesn't mean you can't have an opinion or laugh at it, but when you're like, we got to stop this and we need to do this, and once we do that, we'll get that, all the rest of that shit, you're really starting to master those 7 C's, starting to master your 7 emotions, not letting some situation get you emotionally invested. Damn, boy, we got to teach these little niggas about rap. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now we got to take our old rap back.
It's just another chain.
Yeah. Oh, we need to get. They took all our money away from rap and get our money back.
Another chain. You know, they shooting us in the street.
I'm with Jay-Z. Jay-Z. We need to tell Jay-Z how to do it right. These police out here. So you still can have compassion. You know, you still, you can call a spade a spade. Shit is fucked up. But your emotional investment in it makes you more human. So you have to say, am I really going to be so emotional about this where I suffer from transformation versus am I going to be so emotional about it that I'm diving deep forward, feet deep as a human into this? And that's the decision you make when you deal with occult work, the true decision, not just to be able to say shit, say hotep and all the rest of that shit, and be able to drop some shit about Jesus when someone asks. You know what I mean? Some anti-Jesus shit. Really to be able to make that decision, especially when you've been trained all your life. It's about us. It's about Black people. It's about the Black plight. It's about we as a people. It's about we the people. It's about power to the people. And then you start reading this occult stuff and you don't see none of that. Mm-hmm. You start seeing you and I and speak to yourself in the first person constantly. You know what I'm saying? He, the sage, must figure this, and he, which means they're talking about you. You must figure this, and you must do that. And you don't see this stuff. The first thing you start thinking is, I'm turning my back on Black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm turning my back on Black people. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, ironically, the more I said, let me just get into this and learn this shit and just explain what I've learned, just speak on what I've learned, the breakthroughs. Because it remind me to get back to breakthroughs, because that's what this whole conversation is really going to be about. Mm-hmm. But ironically, more Black people started thanking me. More Black people started coming around me saying, you've changed my life. More Black people started giving me success story after success story. So ironically, when I said, fuck it, this ain't about Black people, I've actually saved and helped more Black people than me trying to save and help Black people. Mm-hmm. So when you try to save and help Black people, they'll like you for that cheerleading kind of thing. But in the end, they'll drop you like a hot potato when something goes wrong or someone else you don't like. So yes, whatever. They see something you don't like, and they'll stop because you're not making them feel good. You know what I'm saying? I would never to be accused of making any nigga feel good. Not on purpose. Never could be accused of that. I made niggas feel extremely bad about themselves. And that's my goal. I'm not trying to raise up your humanity. I want you to feel your humanity is the worst part of it. And each time you sit here with that goofy smile, it's disgusting to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to raise it up. Maybe if we was over on Thanksgiving, we'll have another conversation. But in this context, I'm here for you to walk away going, God damn, there's things I can deal with within myself. Then I've done my job. Then I've done a service to you. You get what I'm saying? I do no service to you telling you how special you are.
It's a crutch.
Oh, crutch ain't the word. It's not even a crutch no more. It's an absolute rut. It's a hole that you can't dig yourself out of just constant reassuring of what a special person you are, how special you are, and how much you have to offer the world. And mommy's little baby's done good. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You'd be dead. They won't remember your fucking name here. You're not fucking special as a human. You're not. You're just another eating, shitting bacteria. But what's in you is what needs to be cultivated. To cultivate that is the greatest work you can do. Because what's in you is sleeping within this shell, this fucking husk that you're in. That you're fucking all proud of. Ain't nothing. It's all we. Yeah. It's all we. You could be ended in a car crash immediately. Ended, but somebody just shooting you. Just cause. Just cause. Like, it's not much to invest in. And in this best case scenario, it's all temporary. Then where's it going? Let's say black people were running the world. We were doing a hell of a job. There was a mango on every tree and an organic chicken in every pot. You still want to die, no matter what. What's the idea then? You come back here again and do it again and live another great life? To what, like, at the very least, if that was the scenario, I just want to know who the fuck is pulling the strings then, at least. I at least want to know who the fuck is pulling the strings. And why am I going through this shit constantly? In fear of death, in fear of my loved ones dying. Even if it's an illusion, it's still a powerful thing. Right. It's still a powerful thing. Something happened to my granddaughter, my kids, I don't give a fuck what hot shit you talk. You're going to be fucked up. Yeah? That's a fact. You need to. So that's the poison here. See, what people don't also understand, there is an active enemy. That is in that active enemy's interest for you to be human. Right. So what it does, it gives you all of these tricks to hold on to your humanity. A lot of them is that fake shit y'all call family. That's the fakest shit you got going out.
So that's lockdown piece.
Say again?
It's a great lockdown piece.
It's the greatest. You got all of these lines that you don't even know where they came from. Blood thicker than water. Family first. Ain't none of that family. Right. And every single nigga will tell you, conscious and non-conscious, those are the worst motherfuckers you have ever met. Your uncles, your aunts, they all fucked up. And know what's even worse? The ones who are cool. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers are even worse because you even deeper in the illusion of some shit. At least when they fucked. See, we black people been here so long, most of that shit is all fucked up now. Which is a way you could get an easier way to let go for some of us. You know what I'm saying? But shit, but then you'll see, like my sister just stopped fucking with my father's side of the family. I wasn't fucking with them since the 80s. And she really just stopped fucking with me because of a need to have family. You know what I'm saying? Obligated, but more than just obligation,
Oh, she took on the idea.
You want the dream.
Yeah.
You want the dream.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Look at it. Once I was a baby, and now my babies got babies. Want the dream. Shit's going nowhere fast. Stop. You know what I'm saying? You had a dream. You all fucked up. It didn't happen. You have a kid. He's going to be African American. He's something special, isn't he? He live with you. You know what I'm saying? Wow. With a baby mom. And now, this baby, though, you know what I'm saying?
He was the nicest basketball player in the 8th grade.
Right, yeah.
He was supposed to go to the league.
Yeah. Now the nigga live in the house. And all you do is eat half a chicken. Eat your half a chicken in the fridge.
Overnight stoppers at Walmart and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so breakthroughs.
So breakthroughs are the key to all of this shit. When it's all said and done, that's where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Let me let people know about this shit here. Okay. In fact, that's the idea of doing this tape as well, to let people know where I'll be at. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. February 15th, 2020, y'all. New Orleans, nigga. 555 Canal Street, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. On the 15th, just 35 at the door, 35 for the webinar. Contact Visa, VISE, WESI at Gmail. The Science of the Soulmate. This shit is going to be fire. The DJ and myself will be speaking. It's going to be on point. And as always, you know, I'll bring all the herb packs. I don't think I'm going to have any books. But herb packs, rose water, fuck up fluid. I might have something called cherry bomb. Those who go to my lectures know what that is. I don't sell it on the website. So I'm going to have plenty of product. Khadijah will have her products. They are her chakra products, her chakra books, her baths, and all the rest of that jazz. So show up February 15th, New Orleans Marriott, 555 Canal Street, New Orleans, from 2 to 10 on February 15th, 35 at the door, 35 for the webinar. I'll show you this flyer again, The Science of the Soulmate. Show you it again before it's over. All right. So, at the end of the day, all of this study, all of this chakra work, all of this Kundalini, melanin, pineal, all of that shit comes down to one word: breakthrough. Breakthrough. You're trying to do this to have a realization while you're stuck in this ignorant shell. The idea is your prison is actually the human brain. The brain is a matrix or a labyrinth which you are trapped in. So that's why you always have these clues and these feelings. I always felt that way. I always this and that. Because you went and you've learned some of these things and you have been initiated in these things in past lives. But through the brain is what you're struggling with. Some of the older ones, like myself, most of the conscious people, they've been through it enough where they're having recall. So that's why they find themselves around this information. But within that, after it blew up on the web, after MySpace and Facebook and all that shit and networks came about, what started happening was, especially after YouTube, people started seeing this as lucrative as opposed to really a calling. So now it's a way to network and sell your fucking onks and your waist beads and your oil and your shea butter mixes, you know what I'm saying, or your cocoa mango flavors. It's a way of doing that. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that network as well. But for that, sincerity suffers.
Sincerity is the key. Sincerity
is the key. And if someone is a sincere teacher, understanding that it's about raising others up as you raise up, then it could be a wonderful thing. if people understand that they're trying to get followers and get people to say, "You the man, Penn," if you're trying to get them to do that, then that's where the sincerity will suffer. You get what I'm saying? And
you also see how the leaders suffer once they don't get the light anymore.
Right. Yeah. Once get the love,
you see they get the
because then it reveals what it was really about, what it was really driving. You get what I'm saying? And you know, if they would have a sincere message, they would find it would last longer because the message would evolve with the person. That's the deal with having sincere. And I don't even want to call it a message, because if you have a message, it seems like once that message is played out, you're played out. You know what I'm saying? But if you have if we're not going to call it message, I probably would call it a calling. You understand what I'm saying? If you have a calling for this, your message is going to change over the years. Like, Khadija say, well, you said something here and you said something. I'm like, good. That's exactly what I want. Fuck trying to have a message that can be debated. I want to be able to contradict myself. I want to be able to say something here, then go into another place and be a total, who the fuck was that guy? Totally different and totally wrong. I want to be that, because that means I'm evolving. If I'm still talking the same shit, now, mind you, that's what I talked about earlier. There's certain just core things you ain't going to get around. But certain things, once you get past the core things, which is the foundation, the basis, a lot of shit should be changing on top. You know what I'm saying?